Welcome to the next installment of my video lecture series in economics. And in this particular video lecture, we're going to be taking a look at one of the homework assignments from Public Finance, Chapter 7, Efficiency and Equity. In particular, we were taking a look at using utility functions, etc., and coming up with a utilities possibilities schedule. So here we have the data that we are going to be using. This has the data for all the different allocations of oranges between Friday and Caruso. So for example, Friday could get 0, Caruso could get 8, Friday could get 1, Caruso 7, Friday 2, Caruso 6, etc., until Friday gets all 8 and Caruso gets nothing. So what this data does is map out the individual utilities for each of those allocations. So for example, if Friday were to get 0, Friday's going to get 0 utility from consuming no oranges. And Caruso consumes 8, he is going to get 51. So this just maps out all the individual utilities for Friday and Caruso for all the given allocations. So if we want to graph this, we can graph this fairly straightforward in a straightforward manner using Excel. So we want to insert a chart, use a scatter, and scatter with smooth lines and markers. So we just have a template sheet right here. We can resize it a little bit if we like. Double click on it. Go to the data. Here's the source data. We want to change the source data to the data that's in the table. We don't want to worry about the column there to the left that has, A and 0, 7. We'll enter that in later. We're just concerned with this data here. And if we hit check, there we go. We've got our utilities possibility schedule. Now, I would recommend, as always, that if you only have, one data series like this, just get rid of the series and tidy up the title. So this would be utilities possibilities, utility possibility schedule, possibilities schedule, hit OK. Going to the formatting, let's go in and change, make it a little bit bigger so it's easier to see. We'll go to the horizontal axis, change the font to 18, so those numbers at the bottom are bigger. We can enter in a title, and that title would be Friday's utility, and we can change the font of that as well. And then we can do the same thing for the vertical axis. Change the font, give it an axis title, and that axis title is Caruso's utility. And of course, I forgot to change the font. Vertical axis. What's going on? Okay, I'll go up here and change it to 18. There we go. Sorry about that. Again, I'm relearning some of this stuff with Excel. So my apologies if I'm a little slow on some of these things. So there you go. You have your graph. Much easier way than doing this on pencil and paper. You can play around with it, make it look a little bit better. You can go in, for example, and, change the weights and make things a little bit heavier if you want. Make them a little bit, the circles a little bit larger. The lines you can come in. Let's see if I remember how to do this. Series 1, data labels. No, I don't want data labels. Outline. So it is possible. I'll have to take a look and redo this to find out what's the best way to change. For example, make these lines a little bit thicker, and make these circles a little bit deeper. So data labels, marker options. Ah, there's the size. Okay. I'm sure you could do the same thing with the lines themselves. So just realize that you can use Excel to do this. It's much quicker. You follow through with my tutorial. The other part with this next section is once you get this, you're going to be asked to start with an allocation of 6 and 2. What you might want to do is to place the associated coordinates or the allocations on top of this so you have a reference. So for example, this point here, putting in 0, 8 like it is on this part of the graph. So that way you'll get yourself a reference as to what are the actual allocations that are associated with these levels of utilities, because that can help you with the next part of the question.